Thank you, Ron. Since the inception of the Heritage Festival some 11 years ago, we've been giving an annual award. As the community grows, it is especially important that not lose sight of its historical, cultural, natural resources. Each year, the Newmarket Heritage Festival bestows a Keeper of the Heritage Award, honoring those who, without thought of thanks, praise, or worldly reward, render outstanding service that benefits all residents of the community and so preserves the richness of our heritage. I'll read the past recipients. 1998, Sylvia and Forbes Getchell. 1999, the Newmarket Hand Tub Association. In the year 2000, Richard and Priscilla Shanda. 2001, Judy Ryan. 2002, Isabel Donovan. 2003, Nick Popov. 2004, Mike Provost, who's originated this Heritage Festival. 2005, Jenny and George Griswold. 2006, Carl Gilbert. 2007, Ethel McIntosh and Dave LeGault. So, as I read that, I'd like to read a little bio of this year's recipient. This year's recipient of the Keeper of the Heritage Award is a lifelong resident of Newmarket, as were his parents, his grandparents, and great-grandparents. He attended St. Mary's School in Newmarket, as well as Newmarket Public Schools. While in school, he started working at Lindy's Bleachery, a local bicycle shop, Turcotte's Hardware, Al's Ditch's store. As with many Newmarket residents, his first full-time job was working for the Sam Smith Shoe Company in the historic mills along Main Street. Next were a number of years as assistant superintendent of the Newmarket Public Works Department. And to this day, he can tell you just about where any underground water or sewer line is anywhere in town. Subsequent to his public works career, he completed his working career at Kingston Warren Corporation, from which he retired in 2001. Kingston Warren, now known as Hutchinson Sealing Company, still periodically calls on his expertise regarding their plant in Newfields, and he readily offers them their assistance. At the age of 16, he joined the Junior Forest Rangers of the Newmarket Fire Department, and at 18 became a regular member of the Newmarket Fire Department. Dedicated to our old volunteer department, he worked his way up through the ranks to lieutenant and eventually was appointed chief in 1971. You figured it out yet? During his tenure as chief, the department underwent numerous changes, including growing to a department with over 50 volunteer members, the upgrading and modernization of the department's apparatus, firefighting and communications equipment, training, and the establishment of a full-time dispatch center, just to name a few of his accomplishments. His 17-year tenure as chief, which is the longest of anyone to hold that position in Newmarket. Currently, he is a life member of the department and proudly displays his retired fire chief placard on the front of his license plate. 10 years ago, after 23 years of service, the town retired a 1975 American LaFrance fire engine. This year's recipient was aware that this small border town up in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire was in dire need of new equipment, so he arranged to sell it to the town of Pittsburgh for $1. The truck was outfitted with hose, couplings, ladders, and other equipment he was able to gather from surrounding seacoast fire departments. At the time of this donation, and up until very recently, this truck was the newest piece of apparatus owned by the Pittsburgh Fire Department, even making numerous mutual aid responses across the border into Canada. The area townspeople were very appreciative of the work required to improve fire safety with this new piece of equipment, and this year's Keeper of the Heritage was instrumental in doing that for them. That's just the nature of his life. He has been a longtime member of the Newmarket Hand Tub Association, participating in numerous hand tub musters throughout the years with Tiger No. 1. In 2003, when the Newmarket Main Street Corporation spearheaded a major renovation of this historic 1853 engine house, he was a key point person between the many groups, individuals, and contractors working on this project. His volunteer efforts not only helped to expedite the completion of the project, but also reduced and eliminated many expenses to the project. Over the years, he coached Little League Baseball, assisted with Boy Scout Merit Badge projects, has served on numerous local and regional committees, boards covering a broad range of topics, most of which were fire department, emergency service, or safety related. He's always a willing contributor to share his vast experience and knowledge on many fronts, and he is never a stranger to visit the town administrator or town council meetings. It's even rumored that he's acquired a significant amount of frequent flyer miles just for visiting the town hall. I don't know about that part. He currently serves on the board of directors of the Newmarket Main Street Corporation, is vice president of the Newmarket Hand Tub Association, is a member of the Newmarket Senior Citizens Association, the Historical Society, the Heritage Festival Committee, and I'm sure there are many more that I failed to mention here. So in conclusion, I am very honored to announce on behalf of the Newmarket Main Street Corporation and the 11th Annual Newmarket Heritage Planning Committee that the 2008 Keeper of the Heritage Award is bestowed to none other than Wilfred Tito Boulier. Come on up here, Tito. All right, let's hear it for Tito. I know you're not a man of many words, except when you used to be at Joyce's and other places like that, but I'd like you to say a few words on behalf of this surprise announcement that we kept pretty good secret, I think, until right about now.
Yeah, no surprise, no doubt about that. Yeah, I did many years in the service in the fire department in Newmarket, and I had a good bunch in there, and ladies. My wife's a firefighter too. But I really thank you all. I really do. That's all I have to say.